Hello, everyone. One of the most, I think, challenging pieces to the research paper, and in this case, the annotated bibliography, is finding quality resources. And especially if you've been out of school for a while and haven't gone through the whole process of doing a research paper, finding them might be even trickier. So what I've done is I put together a little piece under, let me just scroll down here real quick, under the research paper, this is all under the content section, under research paper, annotated bibliography, so the part 2, and then helpful tools. So this is what we're going to be looking at right now. The first thing that we need to do is, because you see one of the requirements is that we need to have peer-reviewed articles as some of the resources within your paper when we're finished. So what on earth does peer-reviewed mean? Well, basically, in a nutshell, it means that if there's a journal that has a specific topic, specific expertise, that there are, generally speaking, faculty members from around the country and oftentimes even from around the world that volunteer to serve as reviewers for the journal. And then they do what's called a blind review. So when somebody submits an article to this particular journal, they strip their name off of it in any place that it might appear, and the reviewers, oftentimes 3, will then look at it, looking to see how this paper is for rigorousness of the research, the methods, the significance of the research, and the findings that they have, and how well, of course, it relates to the theme or topic of the journal that it's going to be published in. Once all 3 of these reviewers say, yep, it's perfect, go ahead and publish it, then the editor of that particular journal notifies the author. They do any sort of necessary changes. So in other words, what this means when we say that it is peer-reviewed or refereed is it's gone through a vetting process to ensure rigorousness and quality compared to what you might get if you just go out to, say, a journalism article, which is something that's submitted, or even a textbook. Sometimes textbooks or other academic books, they are edited by a single person. They aren't necessarily vetted. They also, if it's edited and there's multiple authors, they oftentimes solicit those authors and they don't have to go through that vetting process. This is why it's so important that we find these. So that's a little bit about what they are. But now, where on earth do you find them? Because you can't rely on just a regular Google search. So I've got 2 primary tools that I use and are extremely popular and they work really well together, is Google Scholar, which is not just your regular Google site. I do have a link and a screenshot here on the site. I'm going to go ahead and click this. So this is Google Scholar. You'll see it's at scholar.google.com. And what it's doing is it's going to be looking for scholarly articles, which are oftentimes these peer-reviewed articles. It sometimes is books. So we have to search based on this. So if we're going to do a search, let's say we're going to do Facebook for education. And since it's providing purposes, I'm just going to throw that in. I'm going to do a search for that. So now what you're going to see is on the left-hand side, we have different date ranges. You can click custom range and put in a range. So if you want, say, anything that's from, say, 2010 or newer, you could put that in here. It'll then confine the search to that. Sort by relevance, sort by date. If you want to include patents or include citations, these are things that are up to you. But the cool thing about this is now you can see these are different academic articles, and they provide us with links, and it also on this right-hand side tells us, is it a PDF? Is it an HTML? Is it a doc, like a Word doc article? The thing is, if we go ahead and click on this, I can go in and see that this one's called Modeling Educational Usage of Facebook. I can see who it's by. It's in the journal Computers and Education from 2010. Now, the other thing, before we get into actually looking at the article, is if you click these little quotation marks right here, it's going to give you how to cite that article in proper format. Sometimes there's some things that are not quite right, but I would say a good 90% of the time that this is an easy way to do it. And we are doing APA So you can go ahead and copy this and then paste it into your own references page. Now, if I go ahead and click on this, you're going to see that it's part of Science Direct by Elsevier. I think that's how you pronounce it. And right here, it says purchase PDF. Once I'm in here, I can see there's an abstract. And this is how I recommend that you actually go through to determine if this article is going to be appropriate to whatever it is that you're looking for, because all articles are going to have this abstract that you can scan through and see if it's fitting for what your purposes are. So then we can do that. So let's just go back to my helpful tools here. The other tool is, of course, the UW Stout Library. And if you haven't used this, I highly recommend it. Let's go out here. So this is the main library page. So it's just UW Stout /academics University Library. You can find it by going to the Academics tab and clicking University Library. Now, if I scroll down just a little bit, and this is what I have a screenshot of, I have this search at UW and it searched the library at Stout. So now if I wanted to do that same type of search that I just did on Google search, which was Facebook for educational purposes, what this is going to do is it's actually going to search through the entire UW Stout library systems. This is all the digital books, and you can see with this search result, I have 10,768 results. The thing is this pulls from everything. So it pulls from textbooks, it pulls from articles that have been featured in, say, newspapers, magazines, this sort of thing. If I want to ensure that they're coming from a peer-reviewed source, I can just go down here on the left and click peer-reviewed and then hit apply filters. And you're going to see now that number went from 10,000 something down to 7,500. Yes, that is still a lot of results. And so, of course, you can actually go in and modify this if you want. So again, there's creation dates. So you can change this. If you want to look at just articles versus reviews, these would be reviews of, say, books or something. We can actually just look at articles. So that's also what I am going to do. And now I can scan through these, and anytime I'm interested in one, I can click on it. It's going to pop up a new window and it's going to show me a piece of this. And again, I should have an abstract, which is right here. And you can then go through and determine if that's what you want. Well, what if you find something out on Google Scholar, like we did out here, that is where it says that I have to pay for it, right? Purchase the PDF. Well, I know it's in Computers and Education, and I know it's called Modeling Educational Usage of Facebook. So one of the things you can do is copy that title, and I'm going to go back in here. I got to close out of the one that's showing up, and I can go up into the search bar, paste it in, and search. So there is Modeling Educational Usage of Facebook. It's in Computers of Education 2010. So my guess is it's probably coming from here, and it says that we have online access, and there it is. And this is kind of giving me some options. I'm going to click on this one right here, and notice this looks just like this with one exception. This no longer says purchase, it simply says download. So now you can click on this and actually download that article and use it. So this is the helpful tool. So I just have a couple of screenshots and a couple of links that you can use to ensure that you're getting quality, relevant, peer-reviewed articles to use in your research papers. So I hope you found that this was indeed helpful. Thank you.